This Filipino woman was the faith of the world, but faith did not keep her from science. Fe del Mundo was born in Manila in 1911, the sixth of 8 children. 3 of her siblings did not survive infancy. Her older sister did not survive appendicitis. But the loss that affected her the most deeply was her 7-year-old little sister, Elena, who lost her life to an abdominal infection. Faye found Elena's journal. In it, Elena had said that she wanted to be a doctor when she grew up. Right then and there, Faye decided she would take Elena's place to make sure other children could pursue their dreams, instead of being buried before they could even begin to dream. So when she was 15 years old, Faye was enrolled at the University of the Philippines medical program. And in 1933, she graduated with her med degree. Valedictorian. She remembered being so afraid when she was asked to speak in front of the class that she would cry. She later said that she was quiet. She didn't have much to say. Still, when the Philippines president of the time, Manuel Quezon, offered her a scholarship to study in the United States, she chose well. In an interview in 2007, she remembered arriving at the dorm to find that it was intended for men, kind of like the med school. Women generally couldn't get in. But she had scholastic cred. That was pretty appealing. So they let her stay, making her the first Filipino woman admitted to the Harvard Med School. In addition to Harvard, she studied at the Children's Hospital in Boston, the University of Chicago, and Johns Hopkins. Her focus was pediatrics, especially malnutrition. She also led research studies of things like dengue fever, polio, measles. Her work led to a fuller understanding of disease and the importance of immunization, especially in children. Folks in the States made her very lucrative offers to set up practice there, but she wanted to benefit her own country. So in 1941, just before the start of World War II, she was back in the Philippines. It was also not long before the Japanese occupied the Philippines. So Faye set up a hospice on the campus of the University of Santo Tomas, which the Japanese were using as an internment camp. For 2 years, she cared for the children there. Her tireless efforts and compassion earned her the title Angel of Santo Tomas. Then the Japanese proved their dipshittery and shut her down, of course. She moved to North General Hospital as director, making her the first Filipina to lead a government hospital, which had so much red tape, she just went ahead and opened her own hospital in 1957. Today, it's known as the Fe del Mundo Medical Center and is located in Quezon City. But how did she open it? Well, for starters, she sold off everything she owned, including her house. She got a government loan, drummed up some donations, and went to work. So obviously she bought another house because you need a place to live. But then the hospital needed an adult ward. So she sold that house. Adult ward covered. That's all well and good, but she still needed a place to live. So yeah, she bought another house, but sold that one when the hospital needed a mother-baby ward. It appears that she finally got tired of moving, cause that shit sucks, and moved into a small apartment on the 2nd floor of the hospital. It was ideal for her. She could stay close to the patients. But we need to back up just a little bit, because she did lots of incredible things. See, kids were not surviving simple things like diarrhea. Local health professionals had no experience in pediatrics and didn't seem interested in learning. So every sick kid got the same diagnosis. Oh, that's worms. Make him puke. But clearly, not everything is worms. So she developed the BRAT diet. BRAT stands for banana, rice, applesauce, and toast. It is particularly helpful with kids with nausea or diarrhea because it helps prevent severe dehydration instead of doctors making them more dehydrated by saying, hey, just make them puke. The BRAT diet is used worldwide, including in medical textbooks, like the one she wrote, and which is still used in the Philippines. As she worked, more children survived, including those with abdominal issues, like the one that had taken Elena. But one of her passions was bringing healthcare to rural areas. They often had little or no access to adequate medical care, especially in pediatrics, neonatal care, and premature birth. Preemies in those areas had very little chance. Until her, because in 1941, she developed an incubator. It was made using materials that were readily available in the area, and it didn't need electricity. It was 2 native clothes baskets, one smaller. They would fit together and were fitted with a cloth suspended scale to monitor the baby's weight. Babies' temps were regulated with hot water bottles, and they were fitted with hoods to provide much-needed oxygen. And preemies started living. Between saving children from diarrhea-induced dehydration to giving those preemies a fighting chance, she reduced infant morbidity and mortality significantly. After all that, you might be surprised to learn that she was a devout Catholic who got up at 5 a.m. every single day to attend Mass before she went on rounds. She said her faith was the greatest influence on her life, but it didn't mean she would ignore science. She believed improving the quality of life for the underprivileged begins with reducing the number of unwanted pregnancies. Would ya fucking imagine that? So in addition to training local folks in medical care and child care, she opened rural clinics to teach about proper nutrition, family planning, and reproductive and sexual health, in direct opposition to church doctrine. She said it was possible for people to control reproduction and remain true to their religion. She fucking proved it. Learn from the examples that are set forth for you. Anyway, she never stopped working. She was still making rounds into her 90s. Literally, in the last few years, she did so from her wheelchair. Fe del Mundo passed in 2011, just a few months shy of her 100th birthday. She had so many firsts and recognitions, from an Elizabeth Blackwell Award to being named the first woman national scientist of the Philippines. Well, and she got a Google Doodle in 2018. 4 years before she passed, Fe del Mundo said her greatest regret in life was no longer being able to go into rural areas to bring better care to the children there. But her name literally translates as faith of the world, faith that brought science and hope to generations.